The Notch Lions, the story of the legendary Maasai Mara coalition. Africa is a vast land with many inhabitants, but it's quite clear to all it's ruled by the lions. Anywhere you go in Africa, if there are lions present, they are the apex predator. They are the ones you need to worry about most. And when you go specifically to the Maasai Mara National Reserve, there was a lion coalition that even when you whispered their name, it struck fear in the hearts of all. They were the Notch Lions, and they ruled their kingdom with ferocity and with longevity. All the legends of the Notch Lions are true. You wouldn't believe what this coalition of lions was capable of, what they achieved, and you're not ready for the carnage that they created. Maasai Mara. Lions are littered all throughout the African continent, vicious killing machines found in over 20 countries. But the area we're more fixated on is in the eastern portion of Africa. We're talking about the Maasai Mara National Reserve, found all the way over in Kenya, right along the border of Tanzania. It is named after the Maasai people who years and years ago migrated to the region from the Nile Basin. The word Mara comes from their language, meaning spotted, which was how the area looked to them from afar, due to all the short bushy trees scattered throughout the region. And so, it is now the Maasai Mara, an area that is 1,500 square kilometers, almost 580 square miles. The Maasai Mara is primarily open grasslands with seasonal rivulets. It's a semi-arid environment and has two distinct rainy seasons. The long rains last 6 to 8 weeks in April and May, and the short rains last about 4 weeks from November to December. Living in Maasai Mara are African bush elephants, leopards, cheetahs, both black and white rhinos, and buffalo. But the most dominant species in all of Maasai Mara is the blue wildebeest. And the blue wildebeest is also a favorite meal of lions, so for this reason there are plenty of lions in this region. Like all areas in Africa, lions form prides, and male lions form coalitions. Maasai Mara is not unique in this respect, although the particular lion coalition that came about in this region sure put them on the map, for better or for worse. Coalitions. No matter where you are in Africa, if you see a lion, that probably means there's at least one more lion nearby. Seeing the one lion already made you feel like you were in a bit of trouble, but you're in it deeper than you realize. Other big cats like jaguars, tigers, and leopards, they're all solitary ambush predators. Like felines have all evolved to do, they ambush their prey when attacking, but these felines do it alone. Lions are unlike their cousins. They hunt in groups. Yes, they still ambush, but no, they're not solitary. Lions form prides. The whole family stays together. Females, children, everyone. But ruling over these prides and protecting them, along with the area that they control, those are the coalitions. A coalition is made up of male lions. They've essentially decided they will form a team, and this team will work together in protecting their prides, but also protecting their territory. A coalition of male lions will often be formed when multiple male lions are born within a pride and then grow up. Once they are reaching adult status, they leave the pride and go on their own. This is why many coalitions are made up of brothers. Oftentimes it's 2 or 3 males. Occasionally, a coalition of male lions will see even more. Perhaps 4 males to one coalition, perhaps more. Now, the coalitions know that other coalitions of lions will inevitably invade their territory, looking to take it over and looking to take over their pride. The males in these coalitions work like a security team, doing their best to keep intruders out. This may be done with their fierce roars, a warning sign to let intruders know they're about to be in trouble. A lion's roar can be heard from miles away, and though the sound of it will instantly send shivers down the spine of any human, it doesn't always scare away fellow lions. So when the roars don't work, it's time to get physical. Battles between lion coalitions are violent, they are epic, and most times they become fatal. One coalition of lions cannot be successful without there being death present. And in the case of our Notch lions, death was everywhere they looked. Notch. The Notch Lions got their name from their leader, Notch. But before the Notch Lions, Notch was trying to find his own place. He was born in the late 90s and after getting old enough, he teamed up with another male lion named Light Male. The two had formed a coalition, and by about 2004 they had built up plenty of confidence. So much so that they were ready to take on the feared Marsh Pride lions. The two-male coalition of the Marsh Pride was comprised of Simba and Blondie, but Notch and Light Male were fierce competitors, unlike anything the Marsh Pride had seen, and the former leaders were driven away. Notch and Light Male took control of the Marsh Pride. They eliminated the cubs that were not theirs, and they ruled this pride as their own. In 2005, rival lions wanted to steal this pride away from them. In a confrontation with other lions, Light Male lost his life. It looked grim for Notch, now alone in his coalition of one, but he kept a low profile, stayed close to his lionesses, and used his ferocity to scare away rival lions. Against all odds, he remained in control of the Marsh Pride. He sired many cubs with his lionesses. Many of them were males. They began to grow and get close to adulthood, but more rival lions were trying to steal away the pride. They wished to do the same thing Notch once did, drive away the adult males and eliminate the cubs. Well, Notch was able to flee with his life, as were several of his cubs, narrowly escaping death. And then, something extraordinary happened. These male cubs, 5 of them all sub-adult, they were beginning to form their own coalition. But Notch, their father, he was going to be part of the coalition too. Not only would he be part of it, he was going to lead it. The Notch Coalition. And thus the Notch Coalition was born. Not a coalition of several brothers, but a coalition of several brothers and their father. Notch was the leader, and his 5 sons were Notch II, Caesar, Grimace, Mighty Long, and Ron. This was where it got very interesting. As mentioned, the usual coalition size is 2 to 3 males. 4 is considered a large coalition. Obviously, 5 is impressive. This coalition was 6 males strong. Very few 6-male coalitions have been formed, and as you can imagine, the sheer numbers of them spell out domination. However, 5 of them are still young, still needing to grow up and perfect their hunting and fighting skills. This often happens, and the males all learn together, teaching one another as they are learning. But in this case, they have their father with them. He's been there, he's done that, and now he's going to bestow upon them his knowledge. By the time 2008 rolled around, the Notch Coalition was ready. 6 large and well-trained male lions teamed up together, ready to steal prides and territories away. Their fighting style and power was impressive, but beyond that, there were 6 of them. They had no problem snatching away so many prides. They scared off many male lions, but many more were stubborn and stayed to fight. This resulted in much bloodshed. So many male lions fell victim to the Notch lions, bodies destroyed, left to lay in waste in the Maasai Mara grasslands. The Notch lions took over pride after pride: the Paradise Pride, the Magora Pride, the Serena Pride. They sought out more territory, killed more male lions, expanding the land in which they ruled, and stealing away more prides and ruling over them. The Rongai, the Rekero Breakaway, the Olkiombo, the Magi Yafisi, and the Lookout Prides. These were all now ruled by the Notch Coalition. Their territory had expanded to more than 1,000 square kilometers, or 380 square miles. If you remember, the entirety of the Maasai Mara was 580 square miles. That means the Notch lions ruled over half of this entire reserve. And it was no short rule. This spanned years and years, nearly a decade. The numbers aren't certain, but from the documentation that was acquired throughout the years, the Notch Lion Coalition killed dozens and dozens of male lions. Their dominance was known by all in the region, and the physical evidence was that of all the other fallen lions. No one had ever seen a male lion coalition rule such a large area for such a long time. And it was an interesting combination, being a father and his 5 sons. And even though there were 6 of them in this coalition, and they had safety and dominance with their sheer numbers, there was a problem. Their kingdom was growing too big. In order to keep the entirety of their kingdom safe, they had to distribute themselves accordingly. With all that land to guard, the Notch lions had to split up oftentimes, stretching themselves thin. The Notch lions had grown too greedy, stealing away much of the land. It was becoming difficult to hold on to every last inch, and when they weren't surrounded by one another, that was when they showed signs of weakness, and other lions were beginning to notice this weakness. Demise of the Notch. Notch and his sons continued to rule their vast area, constantly splitting up to be able to patrol the entire area efficiently. Whether in pairs or alone, Notch, Notch II, Caesar, Grimace, Mighty Long, and Ron spent more and more time split up. And then one day in 2010, Mighty Long disappeared. The group never saw him again. It was suspected that in his patrolling, while on his own, he likely had a confrontation with other male lions. And if he were outnumbered, even just found in a battle of 2 versus 1, then he was at a disadvantage and most probably killed. Notch had lost a son, and the rest of the coalition had lost a brother. Their numbers were depleted, but they were still a mighty 5-lion coalition. A coalition that no other coalition could take down all at once. But the overall strategy of other lions in the Maasai Mara area was not to take down the Notch lions all at once. They were playing the long game. Step 1 had been executed to perfection. Get one of the lions alone, in this case it was Mighty Long, and eliminate him. The Notch lions tried to tighten things up to make sure they could keep their coalition strong. The battles waged on over the years, but every lion coalition that went up against the Notch lions was run out of town or met their demise. But there was a new problem. Notch was growing old. His sons remained in their prime years, but he was beginning to become more and more emaciated. In his final months, he had split from his sons. However, he still stayed close and provided them with food and security. Even more incredibly, he kept his alpha status all throughout this time, still the leader of the Notch lions until he died in 2013. And it wasn't long after this that Grimace found himself alone and in enemy territory. Outnumbered and outgunned, he met his fate. And the Notch lions were halved, now just a 3-lion coalition. But they ruled on, knowing they had the power and the skill and an impressive number still. 3 lions wasn't nothing, and they still controlled much territory and many prides for several more years. It was Notch II, Caesar, and Ron left. And they weren't letting go of their stranglehold on the Maasai Mara. For several more years, they confidently kept control of their land. But in 2016, Ron was the next to go, matching up with the Sand River Coalition and getting killed. Then Caesar developed a limp in his hind legs, and in 2017, he was gone too. Only Notch II remained, but he was run out of his own territory, the one he ruled for so long with his father and brothers. It was no longer his. No one saw Notch II's face around these parts. The others had all died naturally, were killed or disappeared. But it wasn't the last of the Notch coalition that was seen, as Notch II reappeared, this time with his son, Spearboy. They were just a 2-male coalition, but Notch II had the expertise that he passed on to his son. And in an homage to the coalition he once served in with his father, he and his son formed the Lookout Pride. They didn't rule such a large and extensive area as Notch II had grown accustomed to, but they stole away a territory for themselves and ruled it for over a year. The mighty had all fallen, or died or withered away. All that was left was their legacy. But there is no mistaking the fact that it was a mighty legacy. The mighty, the legendary, the Notch Lion Coalition, with their vast territory and long rule, one of Africa's most destructive powers to be reckoned with.